Greetings. Welcome to another game tape. So today I'm demonstrating how I use PokerTracker 4 to try and gain an unfair advantage over my opponents. And in this instance, we're playing on PokerStars. So I've just joined these tables and I've selected them because either I don't know information, or in this instance, I've got information on that particular player from Brazil who I've previously identified as a fish. Now I like playing fish because I can get an unfair advantage from playing against them, and the other players I don't know anything about, but I picked the table in this case because there are a number of players that had less than 100 big blinds, which also suggests that they may not be fantastic players. So with PokerTracker 4, what I'm basically doing is I'm using this heads-up display to identify what type of players I'm competing against in order to get an unfair advantage against them. And hopefully you'll get an idea of how I do that from what I show you. And you'll be able to use similar techniques yourself to develop your skills. So PokerTracker 4 offers this heads-up display. It does way more than just the heads-up display, but that's what we're talking about today. And the heads-up display that you can see here is one that I've created myself, so it's custom. I've used third-party heads-up displays before, HUDs before, but having become more skilled, I feel that there's a balance between the information that I need to know and the space that it uses up on the screen. So you can have a truckload of information if you want, but if you can't see your cards, then it may not be that useful. So we'll just play through these hands for a moment because they're kind of interesting. If he's got an ace on dead, probably not. You'll be wondering if I've got one now. Is that a Kiwi? No. Rose sort of like, that's why I've got it, sort of like a Kiwi-ism. So I'm still looking pretty good there as well. I'm going to do that. I'm going to fold. Fold. So the first thing I want to share with you is that any person that I'm playing against, I'm basically waiting until I've got 20 hands as a minimum before I store any information about them. When I get those 20 hands, you'll see that. I also tend to get distracted when I'm doing a game tape and do too much talking and sometimes miss out on what's going on. And so the answer to that, even if you're just playing and you're not doing a game tape, is to look for data that you might want to collect when things are quiet rather than when you're active in a hand. So the basic purpose of having the heads-up display is to get an unfair advantage over your opponents, and particularly opponents that might not be using a heads-up display themselves. So a lot of people don't. You might not be using one at the moment yourself, but I think that once you've seen what goes on here, you might decide that it's actually a good idea to do. I'll run through what the different features are of the heads-up display shortly. If I've convinced you on this video, to try a heads-up display yourself, I'm going to leave an affiliate link in the text for the video, and if you click on that link, it'll take you to PokerTracker 4, where you can either try it. I think it's about a month that you can try it for free, or you can purchase it straight away. And there are different plans based on the levels that you're playing at. Typically the buy-in levels. So the cheaper one is for the micro stakes, like 2NL, 5NL. And if you go for the trial and you end up buying it using that link, then I get a little thank you from PokerTracker 4. It doesn't have any impact on the price that you pay. But basically, I've spent some time creating this video for you, and it's a nice little thank you if you decide that it was worth your while watching it, and that you've learned something that is going to help you with your poker game. So, I probably should have folded that. I normally would have folded that, but it's just part of the thing of when you're talking about the game as well as trying to play the game. So check, fold, fold. So up here, I've now got 20 hands on this person, Lisen from China, Lisen, I guess that is. And basically what that's telling me is that they're playing 19% of hands that they've got the option to play. They're pre-flop raising 10% of those. They're not 3-betting, or they haven't at this stage, keeping in mind that 20 is a very small sample size. Attempt to steal, 10%, 11%. They've won 4 hands, which is kind of cool. Now there's a, if you've seen my previous videos, this number down here is a new number that I haven't used before, a new element in my HUD. And what that's telling me is whether they're a winning player or not. So this person is effectively, you can see there, $2.75. They're winning hands. If I hover over that, I can see that they've won 40 cents so far, which means that they've actually had more than that. But effectively they're playing reasonably well. So I'd classify them as a tag or a tight aggressive. I'm going to do 2 things. Firstly, I'm going to double click on that, and that opens up this window here. There are different ways that I can color code it. So my color code for a tight aggressive player is purple. So there you go, tag. I've now got that as purple. And if I was to play somewhere where I can't use my heads up display, but I'm playing on PokerStars, then the information that I put in there is still going to stay visible. Also, the information that PokerStars collects is more visible in this area than it is in PokerTracker 4 itself. So also, if you watched my early videos, you would have seen that what I was doing when I was either not engaged in a hand or when a hand was over, I was storing whatever information I could about the range of the player, i.e. what hands did they see the showdown in. Now, the problem with that is that if you start collecting all that information, you're not really paying much attention to the game, and PokerTracker 4 is going to do it for you. And not only are they going to do it for you, they're going to actually record the information about perhaps whether they were in position or out of position, were they playing from a blind, because people play differently from the blinds. And so those sorts of bits of information are really important. So as I said, what I used to do was collect a lot of that information myself manually, but it's a bit of a shame. What am I going to do here? I have to fold that. And here, I'm going to risk that because this is an aggressive player and there's every chance that they're bluffing, but suggesting that they've got the ace when they haven't. They could have it, but I know that they play very aggressively because that's what my HUD is telling me. And so I'm suspecting that there's a bluff going on there. And I was right. So that's a good win for me. So there you see straight away the benefit of the HUD, right? I just had a 55-cent win there because I could see that this player was aggressive. In fact, they've left the table altogether now that I've taken chips off them. So I'm going to get aggressive on this one because I'm trying to isolate. Now, if they haven't got a king, I'm good. If they have got a king or a mate hand that's higher, I'm not going to risk that one. Okay, so I was talking about how PokerStars collects information, sorry, PokerTracker collects information, and you see that this little box is highlighted now. If I hover over it, you can see there that there's quite a bit of information. Called 2-bet with blinds with a triple 3, so the set mining, donk paired flop without trips or better, and donks flop. So they're actually probably more lucky than good, but at least their success so far. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hover it, I'm going to click on that black icon and select purple, which is my color coding for a tight aggressive player. And then I'm going to copy all of this information here and I'm going to paste it into that box there so I can look at it inside the game without having to bring in one of those boxes and without having to highlight the information. So now I want to move around other players on this table. Here I've got someone called Story Bro from Canada. So I've got information there, 25-13. That's almost a bit of a fish, really, sort of like a loose passive. I'm going to call him a fish. It may not be quite the right criteria, but it'll give me a start because they're pretty aggressive. Like they 3-bet 13% of the time, they continuation bet, but they're not really laggy. So I'm just not too sure what happens here. I'm going to fold over there. See whether this is a okay. I think I'll go for the 3 big blinds there. So I'm going to double click on that while I'm waiting. Okay, let's see what happens. So the button, fair enough, is calling me. This person's a reg, and what are they going to do? Okay, I've got a set mining opportunity here, maybe. Okay, and I've got that person. I'm just going to check that and see what happens. I'm going to definitely fold that. That's not looking fantastic, but it's not looking terrible either. Okay, we'll just keep checking that. I'm going to wait and see there. Okay, lucky me. Okay, the button here is pretty much of a rig. I'm going to fold that. I don't think it's a good one for a call. Maybe it was. Okay, so this person, yes, I'm looking more fishy now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over that. I can see some information. Another. So I'm just going to click on that. Sometimes you need to find that sweet spot for it to open up. Put it out of the way so I can see my game. And then I'm going to make that green as well as a fish. And what am I going to do there? I'm going to fold that. This one, I'm going to see if I can isolate a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to copy and paste that. Save, paste. Okay, here I'm going to do a bit of a raise because I've got a flush potential and a gut shot straight potential. Here, I'll call that because I'm on the button, so looks like that was successful. Now I've got another little dilemma there, but I don't think I'm in the right position to do that one. And whoa, we got someone getting very keen and aggressive. I had ace 10, it was a good fold. Okay, so we're good with cool story. Now I can move up to this person up here, which is someone from Brazil. So I'm calling them a reg. They're very consistent in their playing style. And it looks like they could be on a, yeah, they're probably on a winner there. So I'm going to color them orange, which is my color for a reg. I've got no information on them, but I'm going to click on here and go reg as well. And we're good. Moving up to this one, very similar stats, just slightly under the um, 15%. Now, if a lot of people will call that person a NIT because both the PIP stats are under 15%. Now it's just changed. See that? I was going to say I'd be calling them a reg, and they are showing reg, so that's good. See what happens here. Not a lot. Gut shot. Nothing. Now I can see there that the recording station, that was probably 60-40. I'm happy with that. Okay, so we have a calling station. I'm just checking because I'm making sure that that name is the same name as up there, so I don't accidentally get the wrong person. And I've got no information collected there, but if I hover over that, so I've collected this information a long time ago. I'll come back to that because I had an issue where some information that I'd collected was duplicated. But you can see there that I wasn't super impressed with that person from previous experience. So I've said they're aggressive. They're also a smarty pants. I'm going to call that now. It's a calling station. And I'm going to copy this information over to here. We'll call that one and save it. See the color's changed now. And I'm happy that I've got the requisite information. I'm set mining here. We'll see whether I can bring up a 4, conjure up a 4. No. So if there's a raise, I'm going to fold that, even though I'm in position, because it's a pretty weak hand. They might let me look at it for a bit longer. We'll see what happens. Maybe not. So that opportunity is gone. So I've got all of these bar one more player here, and 30-15. So a loose, not really loose aggressive, but it's sort of at that end. 3-bet 10% of the time, only fold to a flop continuation bet half the time, but they're also losing, which is interesting. So do I call them a fish or do I call them a lag? You might have your own opinion on that. I'm going to call them lag, but I might change that at some stage. Okay, now I need to pay attention. No, I don't. That's a shame. Waste of a couple of kings there. Under the gun. So let's see what information we've got here. We'll just move that. So color that red for lag. Copy and paste. And then I can have a bit of a look. So 3-bet range, ace jack suited. Or to 4-bet with ace jack suited. Interesting. Raise flop continuation bet with over pair or less and no draw. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, so see if we can set mine there. Set mine's only typically successful about 1 in 8, 9 times. So if there's a raise, I'm going to fold. But it was worth a look. Keep getting a free look. Certainly can't risk being aggressive with that. Okay, we'll fold. Okay, so I'm basically now I've got a fish, I've got 2 rigs, I've got a calling station and a lag on this table. Now over here, unfortunately, 2 players are sitting out, so I'm not sure what's going on there, whether they're leaving or coming or what. So I've only got 4 players, which means the tables, the blinds are coming around more quickly. Let's see what happens here. Okay, well that's nice. Meanwhile, I'm getting more hands on those players, so I'm going to be in a better position to identify their player type. Let's clear the raise. Might as well have a go with that because I'm on the button. Okay, those players have gone, so hopefully those seats will fill up soon. It's flying around. Fold, fold. So this first one here, I've got 42 hands that I've played against them. They're pretty much a lag and there's information. So first of all, I'm going to click on that with my left mouse button, click on lag, and I've got that color code. So that's something I can start with while I'm keeping an eye on the other table. Now I'm going to, because I've got information there, let's just hover and see, okay, they 4-bet with pocket nines. Definitely a laggy thing to do. So I'm going to click on that and open up that box. Move it over here, as I said before, so I can do it there as well. Doesn't really matter. Just want to make sure that we can all see what's going on. So lag, red. Just the short keys there. Control A is all. Control C for copy all. And then over here I can go Control V and that's paste all. Okay, we'll just click on there again and save that. There we go, and that goes. So we know we've got a lag. Up here, is this person a reg or a nit? So net, they haven't 3-bet 27 hands. They have continuation bet. Let's just have a look here. Okay. Bit of shenanigans going on over there. The throwables. Let's fold. Let's see what's going on here before I go back to that other table. Okay, good with that. Now I'm in the small blind. And I've got Queen 10 off. I'll be folding that. And so up here, 1915. So you see how quickly that changed because it was 15, 13 or something like that before. So it shows when there are not many hands of information on a player that those stats can change quite a bit. We've got an attempt to steal there, which suggests a reasonably good player. That folds to flops most of the time. Now look at them getting aggressive. So that stat's going to change. When you've got only a small number of hands, those stats change very, very quickly. And so this will now show that increased aggression, I think. There you go, 21-18. So it just shows that with a small number of hands information against a player, you don't want to be too quick to make judgment calls and you need to spin around and keep checking that their style hasn't changed. So now I'd consider that person to be a regular player instead of a nit. Now, of course, you can be a nit and a regular player, right? Because it could just mean that you're playing value hands and there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm just going to click on that as well and very quickly just color that orange. There's no other information, just so I'm happy with that. And okay, only 2 hands on that player, 62 hands on that. I'm happy that I've got that right. That's a lag, but I've got no information. But if I click here, hover here, I can see there's information on the hand. So I double click on that, brings up the information box. I click on this one and bring up that box, and I'm just going to then go Control A, Control C. I can save that and forget about it. Fold that, Control V to paste it over there, and I've now collected that information. So I'm happy. We'll fold that, and over here, let's just see what's going to happen. I'm going to check fold that. And this player here, 22-13, that's a tag tight aggressive player. So I'm going to color in purple. 19, not very useful. Check fold over there. 5, 6, 7, gut shot. Gut shot there as well. And I've got a pair of 9s. So it looks like no one's actually got anything, so I might just give that a little nudge. I fold that one. Yep, good with that. That's a fold. That's a fold. I could have played that. Wasn't looking like a great hand. That's definitely a fold. So again, there's no information here, but I'm going to just paint that purple because that's my tight aggressive player. Okay, so I now have color coding on all of those players, and the only ones I don't is the new players that are just arriving. So that's good. I think I might be slightly up if I had been not so much talking to you, but that's all good. I'm still looking profitable because over here I've made 40 cents. Over here I've lost 26 cents. I'm 14 cents up on my game today, which is better than being down, right? So we go back over here and see this guy I had marked as a fish. I'll just see what happens here. But now, after 61 hands, his profile is actually a tight aggressive profile at 2010. 10%, 9%, 3 bets, continuation bet, not as often as he probably should. Okay, so I'm going to release that. What I'm going to do there, and I'm going to fold that. See what my rig up here is going to do with my min raise. Well, not quite min raise, slightly more than min raise. Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to change him to a tag. We'll just check what information I've got there and see if there's anything more. Nothing more, so all I need to do here is change that also so it's now purple, and we're good. So I'll be alert to the fact that that's a, did I save that? Okay, what am I going to do here? Let's wait and see what this lag does. Yeah, I think we'll call, just in case. And then we'll fold. This person is getting extremely aggressive, and we've got 2 people, so I've probably got aces versus kings or aces queens, because this player is a good player as well, so he's not going to call that with rubbish. We have a fold, aces, ace king, right? So I'd say this person made a bit of a poor call there, and doubly poor. They've not going to do too well out of that. All in. I just see the person leave the table. That was a bit marginal for me as well. Need to focus on paying attention while I'm recording videos. So this one is better. All right, so check fold up here, 1919. That's definitely a regular player. That's good. This guy is staying consistent as a calling station, like calling 51% of hands, but only pre-flop raising 1 out of 47. That's very, very passive. So I like people like that. If you see them get aggressive, then you know they've got a good hand. This person, yep, still laggy, so happy with that. Popping back over here, yep, 32.20, good lag. 28.22, getting a bit more aggressive. Maybe a bit of confidence with the recent winnings. Up here, only 3 hands, so meaningless. This person, are they still there? Yeah, they've invested some more money. So laggy. You can see there now they've lost close to $3, or somewhere in the region of $3. So that's really handy to know. Okay, we've got an ace king over here. We're waiting for action up there. Let's see what happens here. So we've got two players. I'm just going to do 3 big blinds. And here we'll do the same in position. And I lose that one. Wow, look at that. Oh, I can't not call that. So let's see what he's got. Okay. Possibly a split pot. That's okay. Maybe a second chance here. So I've got, okay, we're going to 4 big blinds. Okay, I've got overcards. Yeah, I'll call you. And no, I won't follow that. So we'll have another look over here. 29.18. Yep, good. Yep, still happy with that. Lag. So these players are starting to show some consistency. In my stats, a little bit laggy. Yeah, that's reasonably good. And this is pretty rigged, so I'm happy with those statistics. And we can maybe have a look at a bit more information. So another thing that you can do, no, we'll just focus on this hand for a second. Let's see what's going to happen here. Is lag going to bet? He's no. Okay, so my rig's got 3 big blinds, so people don't know what I've got. Yeah, the tags come in. I really have to call this one as well. And that's not looking quite so good for me. Going to raise. I've got nothing. Okay. So we have a fold there. So what I was going to say is I can click on that and look at all this information now all of a sudden. I've got loads and loads of information. I can look at how they play in different positions. I can help them raise first in. This is all standard stuff that PokerTracker 4 provides on everyone, and I can view that anytime that I have time. It doesn't fit nicely into the screen size that I've chosen for the video, but anytime that you're looking for information on a player and wondering about their range or their style or a strategy, is it something that they often do, or is it something that's unique to that hand, and make a little bit of a smarter call. So I'll probably stop this shortly because you might start to find it a little bit boring. So we'll just check that for the moment. But you'll be starting to get the idea. Hopefully you can see that by understanding the player type that you can make smarter calls. So I've got a rig player here, for example, who is hitting 6 big blinds, so he's probably got a good hand. This guy, I've only got 7 hands on him. He's played every single hand since he joined the table. He's been pretty aggressive as well. In fact, he's a super aggressive. He's going to be a whale, I'd say. But again, as I said before, I'm going to wait till I've got 20 hands on him before I make that decision. But you can see he's been pretty successful, despite someone tossing my hanky. He's won $2.61 in this session already out of 7 hands. And he hasn't 3-bet. He hasn't continuation bet. he hasn't folded to someone else's continuation bet. But as I say, it's only 8 hands now, so it's really not a lot of information. If I hover over that to see what it's got, called a 2-bet from blind just 7-3 and called 3 bets out of position with pocket sevens. That's really interesting. So I want to collect that. I'll just go to there, and so I'm going to double click on there. I'm going to click on there and open up that box, move it out of the way so I can keep playing. And I'm not going to color code him because I really don't know at this stage. He could be a whale, but I don't want to put that down because he could have had just a few phenomenally good hands, but his playing style might not be like that. So we'll just wait and see. I'm just going to move this out of the way for a sec so I can access these buttons. And let's just see what happens here. Okay, so I'm really happy with that, and even more happy with that. So let's just get a little bit more aggressive and see if I can get someone to fold. Yep, he doesn't like folding. I'm just going to check that. He may get aggressive even with nothing. Possibly shouldn't have done that because now I'm going to have to fold because I've still got. Yeah, but then again, no, I'm going to call him. Let's see what happens because, okay, I've struck an ace. Let's see whether he sticks around with that, whether he's actually got something. No, nice. Sometimes you just get that inkling, right? So let's go back up here, and we were looking at his data, not yet deciding on his playing style, although it's still looking very much like a whale, but I want to collect that information. So I've already double clicked and I've got him there. I'm going to collect that information and paste it in that box. Oh, that's kind of nice. Shame I couldn't make any real money out of that, but that's cool. Okay, so I've saved it. And now what happens is this is yellow. Now it's not brilliant, except that I'm paying attention in that I also use yellow. If I just click on there, you'll see I use yellow as my color for rocks. Rocks are players that only play premium hands, only play about 20% of hands, and are pretty passive with them. So he's not one of those, but it's color coded to tell me, as does that N. So I can hover over that I've got information on him. He's not doing so well now, and he's maybe deserving those tissues. Okay, so we'll check that. And fold. Over here we've got someone, Mad Majesty from Morocco, who looks like they're winning some hands, and interestingly, their playing style is what I determine as being a fish. 3 times as many hands played as raised. Don't 3-bet, and don't like to fold. So raised first in 20%. There you go, 2 out of 10. Really not very much. That again shows you that there's not a lot of hands. Attempt to steal quite often. Kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to hover over that and paint them green, and I'm good with that. Sorted. And over here, middle position, I will be folding that. So up here we've got Fredo, who's joined and is just coming up to 20 hands, and PokerTracker 4 is showing me that they're a pretty regular player. 2015 is pretty good stats. The VPIP are pretty close together. Folds quite a bit. Hasn't 3-bet. I'll come back to that. I just want to see what's going on here. Sadly, that person who was starting to look like a bit of an ATM has left and is being replaced by a reg. I don't particularly like that. So I need to be careful with that person. I don't know what their stats are as yet, but we'll find out. Hasn't arrived yet. I'm going to fold that. So here I'm going to click on that, call them a reg. I've got no stats on them, but I will still change that orange on the HUD as well, because that's how I'm going to see it if I'm table selecting and seeing who I want to play against. If I see a table that's got, say, 2 players that are in orange, then I'm probably not going to join that table, because I'm going to have to work a lot harder or play a lot better than I would if I had greens like this one, or maybe lags. Having got through, happy that this guy's still a lag. This guy, reg, it's all good. I just did him. Lag, and he's still playing a tag style. So he's getting quite consistent as well, which is good to know. Now he's winning a good percentage of the hands he's playing as well, which is kind of interesting. Yes, call that, and here we go. We get lucky, and I'm going to just go over the 10 to try and knock one of them out, maybe keep one of them in. Although I'm not likely to be facing pocket aces. I'm just fattening the pot as well. Thank you for sticking around, and now we're going to get a little bit more aggressive. That'll do, not too aggressive. So unless he's got pocket aces, that didn't play like he had pocket aces. Interesting. Is he going for a flush? That's kind of possible. And let's just see what happens. I hope it doesn't go hard out, because that would probably suggest that he had a flush. No, right. Thank you very much. And we'll check there. And we're going to fold that one. We're going to fold that one. Just look over here again. Yep, lag, tag. Totally happy with those. We're going to fold that. We're going to fold that. And you can see I can start making quicker decisions as well, based on knowing about the player type. This guy was a little bit scary, but he didn't play like he had the ace. I think he would have been a bit stronger. He's sort of, actually, I can't really call that a reg anymore. He's almost changed his style. It's like he's gone fishy. So I think I'm going to actually have to call him a fish now, because he's playing a reasonable number of hands, but he's not raising them much, so he's playing them pretty passively. And I would expect for a reg or a lag for those pre-flop raises to be higher. Okay. I'm not going to play that one, but I am going to play this one. So here we go. And yes, I'm going to call it. And we're going to go there, and we're going to go there. Let's see what this reg up here does to my slightly over half bet, half pot. Sadly, yeah. Okay, well, I've got a great kicker there, so I'm going to try with that. And someone reckons they can. No, I should have raised that. I missed that because I was busy talking. I'm going to call him, and I've got a nut flush. So let's just go for that. Thank you very much. Okay, so kind of a nice day at the office, really. I've lost a little bit on this table. No, I haven't. I've broken even on this table. On the other table, I've made around $3. So you can see that I've been able to get a bit of an unfair advantage as a consequence of using PokerTracker 4, and you can too. So click on the link and download it, and as I said, you can try it for free for a month. So there's absolutely zero risk. And I'm going to shut off now. Thank you very much. I hope you found this useful. If you did, tell someone and leave a comment. And if you've got something to say, leave a comment anyway, because I'm always interested. And I'll see you again sometime. See you.